This is Confusions of a 30-something. I'm Chris Walker, and I'm temporarily banned from eating cheese.
I'm Graham Glossop, and I'm eating way too much cheese.
Oh, mate. Bank holidays upon us. What you up to?
Not a huge amount, mate. I'm just going to enjoy this glorious sunshine, have a few beers, and probably catch up on Gangs of London later. Really good show. It's a crime series, so I recommend it.
Nice. Well, for us, we've got yet another family quiz, because I'm not finding them draining or anything like that. Although, to be fair, it's an excuse to have a few drinks, and it could be worse. Update for you with the dirty oven. Done fuck all with it.
Still, you've done absolute... What's the excuse this time?
It's getting done later.
What was the excuse, though?
It was too warm and I couldn't be arsed. Literally, long and short of it. Yeah, like I say, it's too nice out to be bothering with that. Although we did have potatoes dauphinoise last night, which is a really summery thing to be having.
Ooh, they sound yummy.
It was very tasty. I was just a little bit gutted that there wasn't a bit more of it, because I could have just absolutely battered into it then. Never mind. So, yeah. So rather than talking about precisely fuck all, shall we move on and get on with the show?
Let's get on with the show, mate. We were saying it was bank holiday, and I've seen a lot of people doing a bit of DIY, including myself. It's just one of them things where people are going to be ticking off Ikea this bank holiday.
Yeah, it's one of those things that people do on bank holidays, and after one experience of doing it, I really don't know why they put themselves through it. So I went once on August bank holiday, and it was, I think it might be the first time I even went to Ikea. Net result, massive fucking argument with the girl I was going out with, including over a parking space, which I thought she should have got, and apparently there was a small car in it. Waiting fucking ages in traffic from the junction. And then after all that, coming back with a fucking plastic bin and a candle.
All that just for that?
All that for that.
What's
complete waste of time.
Just go to Wilco's and get that.
Yeah, I don't know what we went there for in the first place. Maybe we had designs on buying something stupid like a lamp, and that's what we came back with.
Yeah, that's a big day out, isn't it? When I think of Ikea, though, all I think about is, like, the words that popped in my head anyway is, like, maize and meatballs. It's just what I associate it with. It's almost like the main objective of Ikea is to kind of work your way through that labyrinth of furniture and lamps and bloody towels and tea towels and rubbish, just to get to the canteen and recoup and reset your energy levels again. Do you know what I mean?
It's like the halfway point, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I see it in sort of a couple of different ways. One is respite, because that maze is really annoying. I know you can take shortcuts and stuff like that, but no one fucking does, do they?
They have little arrows as well, don't they, on the floor? Do I
think
remember
so.
correctly? Yeah.
I think so. There's probably too many people there half of the time for me to see the arrows. But I also like, when I walk past the canteen, it's like looking at a creche for dads and old people.
Yeah.
They all just look really fucked off.
There's always just an individual person sat on like a 4-person table, aren't they? Just sat there pissed off waiting.
Ever seen the film The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas?
Yeah, I've actually watched that recently because someone recommended it.
That's a sort of look of like liberated prisoner of war when someone's wife comes back and he's been sat there for an hour and a half nursing a coffee.
I'm picturing the little kid in the blue and white striped pyjamas by the fence, just sat waiting. Yeah. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Probably blending with one of the bloody sofas at Ikea. We're saying about with Ikea as well, I think it's quite a relevant thing to talk about for the very loose theme of this podcast, because I think depending on your age group, it really shapes your approach to going. So when you're in your 20s and you're first going, you're sort of excited. It's about independence, getting your own stuff. You're going to, well, I'm trying to think of like famous property programs, but you get the gist. You're going to feng shui your house. You get to have a futon. You can have a desk. You're going to do all this sort of stuff, and it's all like really exciting. Going in your 30s, you're starting to get a little bit more sensible about it. but you're still torn between buying one of those kids' roadmap rugs, you drive your dinky cars on or whatever they were, your Matchbox cars.
Like in a nursery.
Yeah. Or a utensil holder that matches your microwave.
No, I agree with that. Like you said, in your 20s, you kind of putting your personal character and touches to it, aren't you?
Yeah.
But if you're living on your own, that's great. You can have your own little man cave. But as soon as you move in with someone, you've got to kind of have that compromise of girly stuff, your manly stuff, and then kind of merge them together. And I've had a few arguments over that in the past.
Yeah. I've noticed that our spare bedroom seems to be where all of my stuff is.
Okay.
There's hardly anything of mine in the main rooms. There's a Godzilla poster in the dining room. And I think there's nothing of mine in the living room. There's my knife block in the kitchen, which I had to argue about to get in because she didn't like it. Oh, don't want things like that cluttering up the side. It looks horrible. It looks like something that belongs in a fucking kitchen. It's a knife block. So yeah, basically, the spare room is my old bedroom and living room combined.
I suppose it's you're bringing your past self into your future self, if you're with me. See what I'm saying?
No. Please explain.
I mean, these are things that you've bought in the past as a young pup, a young stud. This is great. I want this. I'm keeping this forever. And then 10 years later, you move in with someone, you bring it with you, and it's in a different era, a different stage of your life.
Yeah. Oh, no, I get where you're going with it now. Yeah. I mean, it does kind of make sense that it's in there because it's stuff like cardboard boxes for my Xbox and stuff like that with my big bag of wires in it.
Yeah, in case you decide to sell it in the future.
Yeah, exactly, because, that's really going to count for anything if you flog it on Facebook Marketplace or eBay.
Yeah,
have you got a big bag of wires, by the way? Can't just be me that does that.
Not just a bag. Well, yeah, it's a box. It's a box full of anything and everything. But yet, if I need a new cable, I will, for some reason, go onto Amazon and buy a new one rather than check the bag of wires first.
Oh, no, see, I've got a big stash of them. So I've had people, if, I don't know, in the past they brought a camera around or a laptop or whatever. Oh, have you got a charger for it? No, you probably won't do because it's like a really old one. You're like, just fucking look at this bag of tricks. Every connector on the planet is in that bag somewhere. I've got them for iPods. I got rid of my old iPods about 6 weeks ago. I've got about 3 iPod Shuffle ones in there. I don't even know where my iPod Shuffle is. All I remember is the back kept falling off it. So it probably wasn't a right lot of use anyway. Everything's in there. I think I've even got a stand for an old TV in there. Like the connector thing that you plug up to the wall.
Yeah.
Might come in handy one day. There's definitely a lead for a camera that I've not had for over a decade.
See, now you sound like a man in his 30s. I don't want to throw it out. It might come in handy one day. You never know, for a rainy day.
It's like the having the equivalent of keeping an old stick to stir paint with, isn't it?
Oh, like the one, yeah, you hide it in the shed, don't you? It's one of them sticks.
Yeah. It's the 30s equivalent, it's just a little bit more 21st century and very, very first world.
Why would you want to ruin another stick, though, if you've already got a stick that's ruined? Exactly.
Again, back on this IKEA thing. So you've got through the labyrinth of shite and annoyance, right? The food counter bit at the end, I always find a bit weird. Where they sell a range of Swedish food.
Yeah. The meatballs in particular.
Yeah. Each to their own. Everyone's got different tastes and there's cultural difference and stuff. But who is buying that fish roe in a tube?
Yeah, I've always avoided that one.
Oh. Most things that come in tubes are not very nice. Like Primula cheese and stuff like that. It's not good, is it?
Nothing in a tube.
No, but ranky fish shit in a tube. It's really good. You can have them in crackers. I bet I can. So that's the only place I think I've ever sell lingonberries on sale, if that's how you pronounce it. The ones that you get served with meatballs.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean now. I forgot about them.
Well, it's not a real meatball meal without them. And then they sell dime bars at extortionate prices. You know, you remember what a dime bar is? It's like those little toffee bar things that basically were designed to pull your teeth out or your fillings. If you got fillings. They're like £5 a bag.
Are they Swedish?
Yeah, they're Swedish. Yeah.
All right. I didn't know that.
Do you remember the advert? Dime bar?
Yeah.
Basically making out someone was thick, shall we say.
We don't see many dime bar adverts these days, do you?
No. They've also changed the spelling as well, haven't they? Because it used to be D-I-M-E, and now it's D-A-I-M for dime bar.
That just shows how long it's been since I've had a dime bar.
It's just... It's like getting back into the realm of Jif and Sif.
I do remember that point in history. Because more people could pronounce it with a C, couldn't they?
Yeah, it's... I think Sif was the European spelling.
Right.
And then we had it called Jif, which is strange and ironic because syphilis in Europe is called Gifilus. If I remember rightly, you actually like the meatballs, don't you?
I love them. That's the highlight of going to Ikea, in my opinion. Like I said, like once you've worked through that horrible labyrinth of a maze, and it's like a little treat getting to that meatball goodiness. I've
eaten meatballs in Stockholm. I have to say they're a lot nicer than the ones in Ikea.
Oh well, you've got an unfair advantage, then, haven't you? I've never been there. I wouldn't know. I only know what I'm given. A cheap knockoff version.
Got horsecock meatballs for you over here. Horsecock and fat. Final point, by the way, on Ikea. Right? I'm not trusting a hot dog that costs £1.
Hold on, one hot dog, or we're talking like a tin of 6 or a pack of 6?
The ones that they actually serve hot for you to eat.
All right.
The stupidly cheap hot dog. It's like £1 or £1.50 or something. I'm not trusting food that is that cheap.
You're too fussy in your old age, you mate. Too fussy. Chris, speaking of food, do you remember in the office industry? When I say industry, I don't say we used to work in the office. Always did bake sales. Well, they did at my place anyway.
Yeah.
Did you have a similar experience?
Absolutely constant, and for every cause you could possibly name under the sun. Like every week. Oh. Did you have a dedicated person as well who seemed to be in charge of nearly all of them?
Yeah, we had like an events person that tried to organise people's birthdays, Christmas, Secret Santas, and the Macmillan bake sales and that kind of thing.
Yeah, like the coffee morning. We always seemed to be as well someone whose job it wasn't officially to do that, and they seem to spend more time doing that than their actual fucking job.
Skivers, mate.
Skivers. Well, we're going to have yet another bake sale on Friday for a donkey sanctuary that's very dear to me. I haven't got any donkeys, but I just like them.
Just being on a donkey once in Blackpool on the beach. Close to my heart.
Do you know what? Right. As I said before, I'm a bit of a curmudgeon. And I remember coming in one day, right? And I used to have an empty desk next to me. Probably not a massive surprise because I'm a prick. And someone was loading loads of cakes onto it for a bake sale. And I just looked at my boss, and she just like mouthed sorry, looking really apologetic to me because we had that events person who sat near us. And I was like, I just mouthed like, for fuck's sake. Because I knew what it meant. And I was like, right, I've got to make myself a coffee. Came back to my desk. And my boss had tried to put like a temporary soundboard between my desk and the other one to try and stop people from speaking to me all day when they were coming to buy buns. Because I get really pissy about it.
I think you're going to need more than a little cardboard sound booth between you and people.
Mate, I prefer like the Humber Bridge between me and people sometimes. Especially when I've actually got work to do. And my job was actually helping people, which is probably not overly appropriate for me sometimes. It's not that I don't want to help people. I just hate being asked stupid questions on a repetitive basis by the same people who can't be asked to look. But anyway, by the by. So yeah, that was my abiding memory of it. And then all day, I had people coming up to me asking the price of various cupcakes and buns. It's like, oh, how much is this one? Oh, I don't know. Don't know how you can concentrate with all these lovely cakes next to you. Well, quite easy, because I'm not trying to get type 2 diabetes. I'm not that bothered about very sweet bread, because that's all cake is.
What, just bread and sugar? Is that what you see it as?
It pretty much is like sugary soaked bread. I find it quite boring very quickly.
So if you ever had a sandwich with jam on it and a bit of sugar on it, that'd be your equivalent of a cake then.
What's the difference? That is literally a Victoria sandwich as far as I can see.
Jam sandwich, Victoria sponge cake, exactly the same in the mind of Chris.
Have you done the banana bread bake yet? Whilst you've been off like everyone else has.
No, I've not had that. We've done cookies, muffins, and that's about it, to be fair.
Well, these are all high-end ready-made mixes that you've submitted to bake sales before. I think I remember you telling me about that.
Well, yeah, I had nothing to do with the baking at home, but the one time that I did do some baking and get involved, yeah, it was with an instant mix as well, but it was absolute hard work. All that whisking.
What did you say? Oh, this is the creme d'angel, also known as fucking angel delight.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about it was the people that were like buying it and sampling it, they gave me like rave reviews. They were like, "This is amazing, this is brilliant. Did you make this, Graham?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And I just did not want to break their little hearts and say, "Oh yeah, it's all from one of these little instant mix packet things."
Did it come with little, like My Little Pony stickers on?
No, I just covered them up with extra icing, to be fair. No one noticed. But yeah, I mean, that's the one time I did it, and everyone loved it, and then never did it again since.
I don't know about you, but did you actually get on with all your teachers?
Ooh, good question. Did I get on with my... I think some, yeah. It was split. Some classes I were a bit of a nuisance and got chucked out a few of, and the others I were just involved.
I can imagine you being a fucking knob.
Oh, mate, yeah. I think it depended on who was in the class. Was dependent on
which mates.
Yeah, exactly. Which mates were there and what my behaviour was going to be like. So there were certain classes where I'd just be, throwing things around, distracting, trying to be the class clown. Then there's other classes where I'm just sat on my own board, paying attention.
I really didn't get on with my food teacher at all, and I only took food because you had to take a technology in GCSE, and food was like one of only 2 short ones that you could do. I'm fucking crap at like woodwork and metalwork and stuff like that. I'm strictly a white collar kind of guy, obviously. I don't think I could even fucking change a tyre. And so I really didn't get on with the food teacher. And once, I can't remember the specifics of what we were talking about, but I asked her a question in front of the class when she'd got us all around her counter. And she, one of those things where you've made your question really clear and they've heard something completely different. Yeah. Like in a complete wrong context. I said, "No, you stupid woman."
What's a teacher?
I just froze. I'm like, "Oh, fuck." Normally she looked at me like, if looks could kill anyway.
As kids would say,
because I was
instant regrets.
But, oh, mate, I've just felt my balls, sort of retract back into my rib cage thinking, oh no, I'm going to get in so much trouble for this. But she just looked utterly shocked and just sort of ignored it. I was like, oh, I really didn't mean to say that. I'm sorry. I was thinking, fucking hell, I'm taking my dad's lingo wherever I go. Obviously my dad's René from Hello Hello. You stupid woman.
Good old René.
Fucking moment of absolute horror, that. Did you ever have a mobile sweet shop where you lived? Like a van?
The bread man.
That came round.
We called him
Did you have a bread
They
man?
called him
that
a
come
bread
up?
man, and nobody bought any bread from him because it was just either like chocolates, crisps, or little like sweets like du-
Was he like a newsagent on
it
wheels?
was pretty much it. It was
basically?
the original. It was what modern day ice cream vans are now, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
But he
yeah.
didn't sell ice cream.
It wasn't Barry, was it?
No,
Any chance? His name wasn't Barry. Sort of fattish guy with glasses.
his name was actually Alan. He was a good guy as well. Well cheap.
We used to call it the van. It used to come round, I think, once a week until I was probably about 12, from what I remember. And he used to come round either Saturdays or Sundays. And my dad would like send me with like, I don't know, 30p or whatever to get a mix up. That's old currency, by the way, kids, if there's anyone under 30 listening to this. If you are, why the fuck are you listening? It's confusions of a 30-something, you're not allowed. And yeah, it's like 30p to get a mix up or pick and choose some chew bars and stuff like that. But he was basically a mobile news agent. He had like a big old sort of like 1960s van. You could hear it for fucking miles as well. And he came up on the back step. He was just had all these like margarine tubs laid out with sweets and like newspapers hanging off these like racks and stuff like that everywhere. It was well good.
I was just thinking as well, just that little trip down memory lane, going down to the corner shop and getting our little bag of sweets. That doesn't happen now, does it? You get the like little sharing bags that aren't really sharing bags, are they? I mean, I could eat one.
You don't get mix-up bags, do you?
No. Everything's just on its own now. Because no one buys a small little bar of chocolate on it. It's not worth it, is it? You might as well buy like a little bag for another 40p more. Mm-hmm. But you still munch through that, even though it says it's for like 4 people. Our eating consumption is just increased.
Oh, massive. I mean, I'm assuming that's like, you're talking about the general populace there, because of course we eat more because we're in our 30s and not 8.
Well...
So I know I'd eat more, but evidently eating a bit too much of it at the moment. I forgot to tell you this. Here's a reveal. So I'm with those people who gets gout.
Don't you have to be like 80?
Right. You'd think so, but no, I get it. From time to time, I'm always on medication for it. I had a fucking gout attack, didn't I, last week?
Oh, right, because of all the consumption of crap.
Yeah.
Shit.
I was like, oh, great. Like, it wasn't, like, agonising this time around. I was just thinking, like, what a pathetic state my life's in for that to have even been a thing.
I thought I had gout after my stag do, didn't I?
And you, like pulled a muscle in
Yeah,
your
I
foot?
ended up with, like, tendinitis instead. But it was
Was it actually tendinitis? Was it what I said?
it was actually tendinitis.
Well, we talked about it. I'm your fucking
know,
doctor.
mate.
I'm literally your
Everyone was
remote
telling me
doctor.
it was gout. They're going, oh, it's gout. You drank too much. I was like, sure, doesn't gout have to build up over like years and years and years of drinking and eating crap? I was like, I can't have drank and ate that much over a weekend. Well, I did, but not to justify gout. Fucking hell.
Do you know, I remember the first time I had it, and this was a time when I was really burning a candle from both ends. So I was running like 10 miles at a time.
Yeah.
But I was smashing it like 3 times a week as well, like in the pub and stuff. I remember running to someone's house and I was like, oh, a bit achy later on. Next day, my foot looked like it had exploded. I was like convinced I'd like stress fractured my foot or something. And someone from work had to take me to hospital. And they just went, yeah, that's gout.
That's gout.
What? I think that's gout. That's gout. It's so fucking
That's
painful.
full on gout, mate.
I know. I think I had some of my mum's tablets, which she probably shouldn't really admit to, but no one knows who she is. And I think they were like diazepam or something. They were fucking brilliant. I remember sitting on a doorstep at like midnight, having taken a couple of those and being really fucking woozy, ready to fall asleep against the wall.
Take
Like having a cig. It was fucking
the
quality.
edge off a little bit.
Do that again. Oh, big time. The pain I was in that day was unreal. Even just like a bit of air hurt it.
I can relate, mate.
Like little light breeze.
That's what tendinitis was like, but it was like that for like 3 weeks before it got any better. And then I still couldn't walk. I had to use a little cane to help me. But I didn't get any proper drugs like you. They told me to just take paracetamol and ibuprofen and stuff.
That's shit. Yeah.
Oh, I felt like an addict, mate. I don't usually take, medication and paracetamols and stuff, but I had to. I was in agony. Yeah. And I just felt like House just popping like Vicodin all the time. With a little cane as well. Bad times.
House. Oh, God.
That's getting old for you, though, isn't it?
That is getting old for you. I had to be on crutches last time I played football. Because I basically got tendinitis in my ankle. I'd not played football for years because I'd basically shattered my ankle when I was 23. I tried to keep on playing for a few years. I was crap anyway, but still enjoyed playing within reason. And I didn't play for a couple of years because I just kept getting flare-ups of pain and my ankle swelling up and stuff like that. And about 2 years ago, I decided I was going to try and start playing again. Lasted 2 games.
Oh.
And then I was on crutches for 2 weeks.
Mate, you're full of ailments, you are. Bloody tendinitis, gout. What else did you say?
I'm like a walking quaver. Just brittle.
And arthritis will be next, mate, knocking on door.
I think it's already there.
Yeah.
I think my physical condition's appalling when it comes to my joints and stuff like that. You wouldn't know looking at me. Although I would have probably a bit of a beer gut at the moment.
Get some cod liver oil down you old man.
A bit of the old 7 C's.
7 C's, yeah. Get that down you. Go to bed with some
cod liver and oil.
I was going to say, get some deep heat on you every night as well. You're just covered in like creams and ointments and anything and everything just to make the pain go away.
You've just mentioned 2 words to me there, right? That just bring back terrifying memories.
Deep heat.
Deep heat. Do you think? Are you aware of where I'm going to go with this?
It's either going to be the eyes or the balls.
the balls. Of course. Right. Has every man who's used deep heat got it on their balls by accident once? Or about 50% of us?
Especially if you've got the spray. The spray one just goes everywhere.
Yeah. I was working at Boots years ago. And I was working this really little one. You know, the one at Hunter's Bar?
Oh, yeah.
No, that's relevant to too many listeners or anything, but it's just like a little corner shop Boots. At the time, I was playing football like 3 times a week and doing the gym, stuff like that. Really in good shape. But I overdid it occasionally, end up with a pulled muscle. Anyway, show up for work one day after playing football. Like next morning, I'm like, oh, fucking hell, pulled my groin, Anna. Like, but working in a pharmacy. Only one solution here. I'll get some deep heat. Went up to the toilets, which is a unisex toilet with just 2 cubicles in it.
Yeah.
Right, went into a cubicle. Dropped my trolleys. Well, spray this onto my groin. Taking my eye off where the nozzle was pointed. All of a sudden, thinking, it's feeling a bit warm around here. Got it on my sack and
got it on
my bloody sack.
Oh.
And there's nothing I could do because it's not like I could take him out and sink wash him. It's a unisex toilet.
Have a little horse shower in unisex toilet.
Yeah. And I had to go stand there behind a counter working in this pharmacy. And I was just stood there with one hand in my trouser pockets, like holding that bit of skin, trying to sort of brace myself. My eyes watering for about 3 hours.
I'm just picturing if you had actually like got the old balls out and started dunking them in the sink and like rubbing them furiously, and then somebody walks in.
Explaining that.
What are you doing? Oh, fucking Chris the pervert's at it again. He's playing with his balls in the toilets and listening to women wee.
Oh God, it was horrendous. One of the worst experiences of my life.
I think we're running a bit out of time, Chris. So I just want to quickly just summarise what we've been confused about today's episode. So we've been confused about being an adult and going to Ikea and having to kind of do a bit more kind of shopping. Then we were confused about bake sales and cupcakes and why they were a thing. Anything else you'd like to add about why you were confused?
I'm confused as to why I don't like things as much as other people do. Just in general. I think that's something I can take on reflection from that maybe I should be less of a miserable bastard.
Yeah, I mean, that confuses me how grumpy you are now. But I know the older you get, the grumpier you get, but you've been like this since I've known you.
Yeah. I've known you since I've been about, 18, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no surprise to me that the amount of moaning you do.
I will say my final confusion is why microchips were a thing, because they're nothing like chips. And if you have them as an adult, you'll understand they are so bad.
They're so soggy.
They really are.
Yeah.
Horrible.
It's all that condensation that I remember from it now as well, just dripping onto it. Ugh.
And
then you put...
whatever that oil it is that they sprayed it in as well. So
yeah,
it cooks properly. No. I can't be dealing with that.
And then you drown it in vinegar and make it even more soggy. Yeah, get rid of microchips. We don't need them.
I used to take the nuclear option and dump in brown sauce on it because it's the only thing that cut through the taste of the chips.
Yeah, but knowing you'd eat around the chips and just eat the brown sauce.
Pretty much did. Teaspoon first.
Cool. So just want to promote a few social media. So we are on Twitter and Instagram. The handles for them are at Confusions of a 30. That's 30. Confusions of a 30.
Yeah. Or Confusion Sofa 30 if you prefer.
Yeah. You read it in two ways.
We'll do a settee sofa special one day. We've already talked about settees today anyway, but
that's when we head off to the US, mate. We'll take a sofa with us.
When we get massive, we can do Graham and Chris live on the couch. Confusion Sofa 30.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. A bit like the intro to Friends.
Yeah. We need a catchy theme tune, don't we?
We probably do.
We'll make one day. Do the usual social media stuff. Please like, share, and comment. It does mean a big deal to us because the more we can get ourselves out there, the more we'll keep making and keep entertaining and keep being confused.
Yeah, I want to say as well, for Mr. Grumpy over here, a big thank you to everyone who's given us nice reviews and supported us so far. Everyone who's downloaded, we've been more popular than we thought we'd be, especially at this stage. So it does really mean a lot to us. So just try and get the word out. And if anyone's listening regularly, not following us, do, because we need that presence.
And from me as well, thank you as well. It does mean a lot to us. So, yeah, everyone, you stay safe.
And we'll stay confused.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ta!